Okay, so good morning everyone. Good morning students. So for today we're going to discuss chapter 3 and then lesson 1. So for the chapter 3, ang title nito yung Market Opportunity Analysis and Consumer Analysis. So we're going to discuss yung mga demographics, ano ba yung nilalaman ng market analysis. Yan yung market and consumer analysis dun sa business plan nyo siya, para mas maintindihan nyo. So for the lesson 1, ang itatakal natin ay yung strategic marketing versus tactical marketing. So, um, after this topic, after discussion, we should be able to distinguish between strategic and marketing planning in terms of its objective and processes. Okay, so first, yung strategic marketing process. So when we say strategic planning or strategic marketing, it is a broad process that can address the entire business or a portion of the business such as marketing. So pag sinabi naman natin marketing planning, it is a written based from a strategic plan. So 'di ba yun nga yung business plan natin. Tsaka yung ano natin marketing plan natin. Ang pinanggagalingan nun ay yung mga strategic ano natin, plans natin. Ta's pinuput natin siya into writing kaya siya natatawag na, marketing planning or yung business plan. So for us to distinguish between the two, it is important to understand their objectives and, their purposes. So when we say strategy, alam naman natin yung pag-strategy, ito yung mga techniques, yung mga estratehiya natin kung paano natin ma-achieve yung mga certain goals natin in life, yung mga techniques, gano'n. So, a strategy is a plan for reaching a specific goals. Ayun, yung mga plano natin kung paano natin ma-achieve yung mga goals natin sa buhay. So, in business, a strategy is a broad goal such as increasing sales or market shares or creating a particular image for the business. So when we say strategic plan, siguro kung naalala niyo sa organization and management niyo, 'di ba merong mga different types of planning such as strategic, operational, and tactical. So when we say strategic, ito yung parang malawak na plano or goal ng isang business. For example, for this year gusto ko magkaroon ng increase ang business or sales natin sa business. So strategic ano 'yun, parang strategic goal 'yun. So yung mga plano mo, meron kang strategic plan. So yung plano mo naman ay yung pang ano na, yung parang, pinaka, broad parang gano'n, yung pangkalahatan na. Tapos dito naman papasok yung, tactical which is parang, hinahati-hati naman niya 'yun sa depende sa department gano'n, hanggang sa mapunta siya operational na plano, hanggang sa mapunta 'yun yung parang goal na ng bawat empleyado, 'yun. So 'pag strategic, ito yung plano or goal ng isang business. So 'yun. So it seeks to establish a clear and concerted direction for all marketing activities of an organization. So when we say strategic planning naman, it is a management process of creating and maintaining fit between the objectives and resources of the organization and the changing marketing opportunities. So the very goal of strategic planning is the long-term profitability and growth of the company. So normally yun nga pag strategic, broad yung goal. Kumbaga objective mismo ng buong business. So we have here the strategic marketing processes. Ito yung process na dapat sinusunod natin para makagawa tayo ng strategic plan or strategic marketing. So first, yung mission identification. So, 'di ba, doon sa business plan natin sa unang chapter, meron tayong company background, yung tagline, yung name ng company. So dapat magkaroon din tayo ng mission and vision. Kaya mahalaga din siya kasi para malaman mo kung ano ba talaga yung gustong marating ng business. So when we say mission, ito yung mga short-term goals ni business. Pag sinabi naman nating vision, ito yung long-term goal ni business. Yung parang yung vision, ito yung gusto niyang makita in the future or after 5 years or 10 years. While yung mission, ito na yung short-term goal nila. For this year, ito yung gagawin ko, ganyan. So the next one naman, yung situation analysis. So syempre, 'di ba, dapat i-analyze natin kung ano na yung sitwasyon ng business. And then objective setting. So 'di ba, nalaman na natin kung ano yung gusto ni business, ano na ba yung mission niya or yung vision niya, ganyan. Tapos nalaman na natin kung ano na ba yung sitwasyon ni business, kung nasaan na ba siya, ganyan, kung ano yung mga iko-consider niya para ma-maintain yung stability ng business sa ekonomiya, ganyan, or sa industry na 'yan. So magkakaroon na tayo ng objective setting. So, 'pag nagkaroon din kayo ng business plan, kailangan meron din kayong objective. Ano ba yung objective ng business niyo? Yan, so for example, parang magkaroon ng sales for this year, gano'n. And then, after the objective setting, magkakaroon na tayo ng marketing strategy development. So, from the objective, siyempre hindi lang naman isang objective madalas ng isang company. Minsan, ano yan, 2 to 5. Tas bawat objective na 'yan dapat meron tayong course of action, meron tayong strategy na, ia-apply bawat objective na 'yun. So 'yun, and then siyempre nagkaroon na tayo ng course of action, alternatives, ganyan, yung mga solutions, mga improvements, innovations, ganyan. Next naman, yung strategy, evaluation, and control. So siyempre after mong i-implement yung strategy na 'yun, siyempre magkakaroon tayo ng evaluation and control. Hindi natin dapat i-stop lang sa pag-i-implement ng ating strategy. Dapat magkakaroon pa rin tayo ng timely evaluation and control. Kunwari, itong in-implement nating strategy, ano bang naging output nito? Naging stable ba ang business? Ganyan. Naging successful ba 'to? And then, doon dapat timely 'yon para malaman natin kung ano ba yung magiging standard natin. And then papasok na dun yung control, gano'n. So, itong strategy na 'to nakakamit tayo ng 100 na quota. So, dapat, lahat ng empleyado kayang ma-meet yung quota na 100. So, nagiging part siya ng standard mo or KPI, ta's nagiging control. So, 'pag hindi nami-meet ni employee yung 100 na quota, baka may something sa kanya or baka kailangan niya ng training, gano'n. Or else baka kailangan siyang i-terminate kasi baka hindi siya fit doon sa work na yun, okey? So after that, yung evaluation and control, so siyempre makakakita pa rin tayo ng problema after nating i-evaluate kasi hindi naman lahat ng plano ay perfect or 100% na perfect. So iikot ulit yun sa umpisa, gano'n. So yun yung strategic, marketing process natin or yung strategic planning natin. Okay. So sa market strategy development, ito yung mga example. For example, yung mga cost, leadership, yung focus, yung differentiation. So next naman yung tactical marketing process. So yun nga, kung naalala niyo yung sa chapter 3 ng organization and management nyo na part ng planning. So different types of planning. Example nun yung strategic and tactical and operational. So ngayon naman yung tactical marketing process. So ito naman para medyo short term siya compared sa yung goal nito, short term compared dun sa strategic. So when we say tactical marketing process, it determines the means or tactics to implement the strategy. So when we say tactics, specific actions to be taken in implementing a strategy. So, 'di ba from strategy, magkakaroon tayo ng tactics. Kumbaga, ito na yung mas specific na galaw ng business. Siyempre, kailangan meron ka munang strategic plan, then papasok yung mga tactical plan. So, parang hihimay-himayin mo yung ano mo yung mga objectives mo, yung mga steps mo para ano mo, tawag dito, ma-achieve mo yung goal mo. So, papasok yung tactical plan. Ano nga ba yung mga specific actions na kailangan mong i-implement para makuha mo 'to or ma-apply mo 'tong, strategies. So, these actions comprise what is to be done, in what order, using which tools and personnel. So, sa tactical plan papasok dito kung, sino ba yung mga taong kailangan mo, sino ang mga experts ang kailangan mo, and then anong tools yung gagamitin para ma-implement natin 'tong mga strategies. So, when we say tactical planning, in short, ayun na, yung meaning nito is a short-range planning that emphasizes the current operations of various parts of the organization. So, yun nga, ang tak ang strategic long term, ang tactical short term. So, short range means a period of time standing about 1 year or less in the future. So, pag tactical, good for 1 year yung ano na yun. Kunyari, 'di ba may strategic plan kayo. Ang strategic plan niyo good for 5 years. So, dapat, yun nga, dapat after 5 years, ganito na yung kalagayan ni company. So, dapat every year meron kang tactical plan. Gano'n siya. Hati-hatiin mo naman yun. Bawat year meron kang tactical plan. So, normally, managers use tactical planning to outline what the various parts of the organization must do for the organization to be successful at some point 1 year or less in the future. So, ang kaibahan naman nito sa ang strategic plan, pinagkakasunduan 'to ng mga board of directors. While yung tactical, marketing or tactical plan, ito yung mga plano na dapat ginagawa ng per department. Ayun. So, ang nag-i-implement nito yung mga managers. So, dapat itong sales department, ganito yung tactical plan nila, gano'n. Excuse me. Pero meron silang isang objective na align with the strategic plan. Okay, so ito yung mga klase ng tactical plans. For example, yung mga action plans and tactics. Yan, dapat may listahan kayo ng plano nyo per department. Ano-ano nga ba yung mga marketing activities na gagawin ni business. Yan. Timetable activity. Dapat meron kayong timeline. Yung may timeline kayo, parang Gantt chart. Ganun. And then, yung responsibility and accountability, syempre, ini-involve na nga natin dito yung tools and personnel, kung sino-sinong tao ang kailangan natin. So, bawat tao, may listahan din sila na responsibility and accountability nila. Ano yung mga responsibilidad na dapat gagawin nila. And then, activity budgets, syempre, dapat meron tayong budget. Kasi para malalaman natin kung may benefit ba 'tong, business na itong strategy na ginagawa natin, itong plano ba na ginagawa natin, gano'n siya. Or baka naman sobrang mahal niya or expensive. And then siyempre after no'n, meron tayong monitoring and control. Siyempre, yun nga, after nating i-apply 'tong mga tactical plans, kailangan pa din natin i-monitor and i-control. Hindi natin basta iiwanan porke na-implement na natin. Hindi natin ina-assure kung naging effective ba or naging efficient ba yung ano na yun, yung mga plano na yun. So, sa marketing plan, 'di ba, yung business plan natin, 'di ba sa unang part nun yung dinefine natin yung mission. So, yun nga yung parang part 1 ata yun ng company sa company background. meron tayong mission and vision. So, the next one na dapat i-consider natin yung SWOT natin. So, yung parang part 2 naman 'to. Dito natin makikita yung SWOT. So, yung strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. So, na-discuss na natin 'to sa chapter 1 natin. So, balikan niyo na lang siya. Yun yung SWOT.
Meron din yun sa organization, ma'am.
Yes, oo. Feel ko naman familiar na kayo dun sa SWOT kasi ilang beses na 'tong pinaulit-ulit, eh.
Yes, ma'am.
Madali na lang yan. Kung naalala niyo pa yung organization and management niyo. So, the next one naman, pag-aaralan natin yung environment. So again, may involved na naman ulit dito yung organization and management. We have internal or external environment. Makikita niyo rin dito yung ibang environment na yon. So sa marketing, we have micro and macro. So, ayun, i-discuss natin. So, di ba, so yung pag sinabi natin kasing micro, ayan, syempre micro nga, so maliit na portion ng environment yung dinidiscuss dito. Kumbaga, yung environment na to, ang effect lang nito ay yung maliit na portion ng isang ekonomiya. So when we say microenvironment, these are the forces that closely influence the company and directly affect the organization's relationship. The factors consist of the company itself, yung suppliers, marketing, intermediaries, customer markets, competitors, and the general public. So, ang keyword natin dito, yung closely influence the company. So, pag sa micro, yung maliit na portion nga lang ng ekonomiya yung naaapektuhan. So, might as well, kung ano yung nakakaapekto mismo doon sa company natin, considered siya as micro. So, for example, ang first example natin, syempre yung company. Ayan. So, in designing marketing plans, marketing management considers other company groups such as yung top management, yung finance, research and development, yung purchasing department, yung operations and accounting. So, all of these interconnected groups shape the internal environment. So, for example, yung top management, ayan, the company with its mission and vision, yung objectives nun, yung broad strategies nun, yung policies. So, yun. For example, then yung marketing managers natin construct decisions within the strategies and plans and prepared. And this is being prepared by the top management. So, yun nga, pag sa company, involved dito yung mga top management hanggang sa pinaka-subordinates or yung bottom level. So, the next naman, syempre yung suppliers. Yan. Di ba yung company, ayan yung parang internal environment pag sa organization and management. So, yung suppliers naman, ito yung external environment. Pero, considered siya as micro. So, sa suppliers, ito, essential link in the company's overall customer value delivery network. So, they make available the resources required by the company to generate its goods and services. So, mahalaga din siya. Kasi, kailangan timely din yung pagde-deliver ni suppliers ng raw materials. Ganun, para ma-perform agad ni business yung yung production nila. So yun, dapat kasundo din sila ng company kasi maaaring makakuha ka ng mga discounts, ganyan, ng pwede kang mangutang, ganyan, if in case na hindi pa available yung yung pera nyo para maka-acquire ng mga raw materials. So pag meron kayong good relationship with the supplier, pwede kayong makakuha ng discounts and at the same time, pwede rin kayong mangutang for a while. Ganyan. So the next one, yung market intermediary. So ito, it assists the company promote, sell, and distribute its product to ultimate buyers. So they consist of resellers, yung physical distribution firms, marketing service agencies, yung financial intermediaries. So, di ba, Kadalasan natin sa business finance natin yung financial intermediaries. Ito yung pumapagitna between the lenders and creditors. Kunyari hirap tayong makahanap ng kung saan tayo uutang. Madalas ang sagot diyan yung mga financial intermediaries such as yung mga bangko, yung mga stocks, ganyan. Another example, yung mga resellers din. Ayan, din sila, intermediaries din sila. So, for example, yung sa Pure Gold, ayan, 'di ba? Or yung sa mga wholesaler. So, yung ikaw na ordinaryong tao, syempre ang bibilhin mo lang naman yung mga lang naman, tingi-tingi, ganyan. So, minsan binibili yun ng mga sari-sari store, wholesale, para i-distribute nila sa mga kapitbahay nila na gustong bumili ng tingi-tingi. So, syempre, customers. Yan, microenvironment. Yung customers. So, all businesses aim to yan. So, all businesses aim to produce profit through serving the customer demand. Yun. So, syempre, paano ka nga ba magkakaroon ng profit kung wala yung customer mo? So, they all want to gain more in terms of profitable sale rather than more sales volume. So, today marketing of a company starts and also end with the customer. So, yun. Kaya mahalaga din si customer. Actually, siya ang pinakamahalaga, customer. So now, a company to be successful must get customers for its product. So pwede rin relationship marketing, may retention ng customer or mag-acquire ka ng mga bagong customer. So this is the basis on the importance of customers in the micro environment of the business. So product sales rely chiefly on the level of customer satisfaction. Next, syempre yung competition. Ito na papasok yung mga benchmarking. Yung mga same industry natin, nakakompetensya natin. For example, Nokia versus yung Apple, ganyan. Samsung, yung mga Oppo, Huawei, ganyan. So a company to be successful must provide greater customer value and satisfaction compared to its competitors do. So yon. Hence, marketers must act more than just get used to the needs of target consumers. So mahalaga yung competition. Actually, sa mga consumers, nagbe-benefit din tayo pag merong competition na nagaganap. Kasi syempre, pag may kakompetensya yung company, gagandahan nila yung serbisyo nila or yung product nila. For example, di ba dati ano ba yung walang kalaban? Siguro dati sa internet, ang walang kalaban ata dati ay yung PLDT, di ba? Ayun. Tas hanggang nagkaroon ng Wi-Fi, kaya nang mag-provide ni Globe at ni Smart ng internet. So, medyo nagkaroon ng kaunting competition. Tapos nowadays, biglang pasok yung Converge. So, parang ngayon, ang pinaglalabanan na lang nila ay yung customer service. Ayun, para mas maka-acquire sila ng mga customers. So yun, kaya better din na mayroong competition kasi napapaganda kahit papaano yung serbisyo. Hindi kagaya dati nung wala pang Converge or wala pang gaanong competition sa telecommunication. Nagtitiyaga na lang tayo kahit ang pangit ng internet, ganun. So hopefully, mas marami pang dumating na telecommunication company para mas lalong gumanda yung serbisyo. Kasi mapipilitan sila na pagandahin yung serbisyo nila. So the next one, yung publics. The company's marketing environment also comprises various publics. So a public is any group that has a genuine or possible interest in or influence on an organization's ability to attain its objectives. So we have 7 types of publics. So namely, financial publics, for example, ito yung mga bangko, ayan, yung mga stockholders, investment, yan. The next one, yung media public. So, ito yung mga nagbabalita. Yan, carries news, features, or editorial opinion. So, kadalasan, part din ng marketing yan. Ano nga ba yung nakita kong may magandang marketing? For example, politician ka tapos minamarket mo yung Coke. So parang simple magdadala ka lang ng Coke sa sa isang meeting na mahagip ng media. So pag-uusapan ng mga tao yun. Parang simple marketing din siya. Yan, government publics. So management must consider government developments. So marketers should regularly check the company's lawyers on subject of product safety, truth in advertising, and other matters. So, syempre kailangan updated yung lawyer natin sa law para malaman natin kung nasaan, kasi mamaya hindi tayo updated, yung pala lumalabag na pala sa batas yun. So, baka mapasara tayo. Citizen action publics, often consumer. Another example yung yung citizen action public. So, often consumer organizations, environmental groups, minority groups, or other related groups may query about a company's marketing decision. So, in public relations department can facilitate in getting in touch with the customer or consumer and citizen groups. So, ito yung mga tao na na mahilig mag-query sa company. Yan. For example, for the improvement na lang din ni company, ganun, or review ng mga products. Another one, yung local publics. So, this group consists of local residents and community organization. So, bakit nga ba siya mahalaga? Syempre, papasok dito yung social responsibility, tama ba? CSR, corporate social responsibility. Yan, dapat, maganda yung effect ni, may mga activities si company. Yan nga, yung mga CSR na good for the local publics. Another one, yung general public. Ayan. So, a company needs to be apprehensive about the general public's attitude on its product and activity. So, check natin yung behavior ni general public towards dun sa service natin or sa product natin. And then, internal publics, yan nga, it compose yung workers, managers, volunteers, and the board of directors. Na part ng SWOT, ayan, identifying the strength and weakness. A thorough and impartial analysis of a company's microenvironment can effectively identify the company's competitive strengths and weaknesses. So yon, pag nalaman natin kung ano ba yung microenvironment natin, so makikita din natin yung mga weakness and strengths natin. Yun. So, pag gumagawa tayo ng SWOT, i-consider natin yung microenvironment sa part ni strength and weakness. So, next naman, yung marketing macro environment natin. So, sa organization and management, normally ito yung mga yung mga socio-cultural, ganun. Ano bang part yun? Kasi diba may internal, external, meron pa isa nakalimutan ko na. Balikan ko. So, pag sa macro environment, when we say macro marketing environment, takes into account all forces that can influence an organization but are outside of their control. So, ito yung environment na hindi kontrolado ni business, na nakaka-affect dun sa business. So, therefore, macro environment is less controllable. The macro environment consists of much larger all-encompassing influences which impact the microenvironment from the broader goal society. So meron tayong ano dito, meron tayong tawag dito, meron akong tips na para mas maalala niyo siya, yung PESTEL. So PESTLE, PESTEL, para mas madali niyong makabisado yung macro environment natin. So ano-ano nga ba 'to? First, yung natin muna 'to. Ito, 'di ba PESTEL, yung political, political or legal macro environment. So, sa political forces, it refers to the stability of political environment and the attitude of political parties or movements. So, this may manifest in government influences or influence on tax policies or government involvement in trading agreements. And also, political refers to attitudes and approaches. So political may represent influences, restrictions, or opportunities, but they are not mandatory. So sa politika, sa political forces, dito papasok yung mga policies and regulations on tax or yung laws na dapat, yes, sa PESTEL, ganyan. Yan yung mga tax na dapat nating binabayaran, yung align pa ba tayo with the law, updated ba tayo sa law, dapat updated tayo sa mga rules and regulations, ganyan. Tapos dito rin nakabase kung stable ba yung political natin, yung political forces natin or yung movements ng politics. PESTEL. So next naman yung economic macro environment natin. So tinatawag na economic forces. So it represents the wider economy and consists of external factors. So in business, market, and the broader economy that can influence the business. So for example, ng forces na to yung economic growth rates, yung salary levels or levels of employment and unemployment, yung credit trends, yung cost of raw materials, interest rates, and monetary policies, yan, yung mga exchange rates. So, more likely yung galaw ni ekonomiya. So, yung una nga, yung economic growth rates, yan. Tapos kung yung ratio ng employment tsaka ng unemployment, nakaka-affect din yan sa business. Ganun. Yung pagtaas ng interest rate ng bawat bangko. Yan. Siyempre, pag nung time na na publish or parang dineclare na yung train law, tumaas din yung ibang taxes ng products. So, yun nga, yung for example, yung sugar, since nagkaroon ng train law, tumaas din yung presyo ng sugar. So, pag tumaas ang presyo ng sugar, might as well, ibang product tataas din yun. Tataas din yung cost nun. Pati yung price, tataas din. So, yun yung mga economic macro environment. So, next naman, yung socio-cultural macro environment. So, dito, yan, sa socio-cultural forces, include institution and other forces that affect the basic values, behavior, and preferences of the society, all of which have an effect on consumer marketing decisions. So, they may include yun nga, sa sa chapter 2 nyo, yung demographics, yung age distribution, population growth rates, yung level of education, distribution of wealth, social classes, living conditions, and lifestyle. So, i-consider natin siya sa business natin. So, for example, ano bang lifestyle, ano bang yung product natin? Applicable ba siya sa certain lifestyle ng tao, gano'n. Sa demographics naman, ano bang tao yung involved natin, ganyan. Anong age, gano'n. So, 'di ba nung nakita niyo yung sa may marketing plan natin sa chapter 2 'yan, nakalagay kung ano yung age yung target natin. Kasi better na meron tayong target na specific, hindi puwedeng lahat target natin. Kasi para mas mapag-aralan natin yung environment na yun, yung target market na yun, para mas ma-improve natin yung product natin.
Hindi para
So,
magpo
sa Philippines ang hello?
hindi para pong magfo-focus lang muna sa isang goal nila.
For example, kunyari ang product niyo ay damit, ayan. So, anong sino bang target market niyo, yung kaedad niyo ba, teenager or yung medyo matanda na or yung baby? Kasi 'di ba, hindi naman puwedeng 'di ba bawat ano na 'yan, eh, bawat age na 'yan, iba-iba rin sila ng taste. So, better na mag-focus tayo sa iisang age gap. For example, ang focus niyo mga teenagers, ano-ano ba yung gusto ng teenagers 'yan. So, mas makakapag-focus tayo, kung ang target market natin ay yung mga teenagers, mas mapag-aaralan natin yung behavior nila. Kasi parang kung gusto natin lahat target market natin lahat ng age, sasabog tayo kasi di natin alam kung saan tayo magfo-focus, gano'n siya. So, better na mas specific. Siguro yung ibang business medyo lumawak na, lahat na ng target market kaya na nilang sakupin kasi napag-aralan na nila yon, kumbaga established na sila. Pero 'pag nag-i-start ka pa lang, mas okay na yung may target market ka, gano'n. So, for example sa mga, coffee shop ganyan, siyempre ang target market nila yung mga nagwo-work, ganyan, yung mga medyo nasa middle class kasi siyempre medyo costly yung mga kape, 'di ba? Gano'n siya. So, better na meron kayong target market para mas mapag-aralan niyo yung environment na yun. Okay, so for example, yung mga socio-cultural trends in the Philippines, yung nga yung more women being educated and working, gano'n. Yung middle class now has many other opportunities like travel for work or vacation. Tapos yung behavior ng mga tao na 'pag meron silang meeting sa coffee shop sila or yung mga estudyante natin 'pag mag-aaral nasa coffee shop, gano'n. So, pag-aaralan natin yung mga nagiging behavior ng environment. 'Yan, yung ito for example yung mga demographic, 'yan. Okay, so next naman yung technological environment natin. So, technological forces refer to the rate of new inventions and development changes in information and mobile technology. Changes in internet and e-commerce or even mobile commerce and government spending on research. So there is often a tendency to focus on technological developments on digital and internet related areas. So it also includes materials development and new methods of manufacture, distribution, and logistics, which can create new products, new market, and new marketing opportunities. So, siyempre 'pag sa technology, yun nga, ang advice ko nga, eh, dapat siguro bago kayo grumaduate ng college, better na, skilled na kayo sa technology. Kasi 'pag nag-work kayo, talagang maku-culture shock kayo kung gaano ka-high-tech na ang work ngayon. For example, ako siyempre dati sa public school lang ako nag-aral, hindi naman kami gano'n ka-oriented sa mga technologies like yung, 'di naman namin masyadong finocus yung paggamit ng Excel, ganyan. So 'pag accountant ka, kailangan oriented ka sa Excel, gano'n. So, itong ano natin, online class natin, opportunity na din 'to para masanay tayo sa ganitong klase ng ano, ng environment. Kasi someday 'pag nag-work kayo, ayun, for example 'di ba dati nasa office lang tapos biglang nag-work from home. So ang mga meetings laging sa Zoom or sa mga Google Meets, ganyan. So itong ano na 'to, itong, ah, online class na 'to, opportunity niyo na 'to para mas masanay kayo sa ganitong environment. Kasi someday 'pag nagwo-work kayo talaga, ito na rin yung talaga yung ano niyo, eh, ito na rin yung kahaharapin niyo, eh. Okay, so yun nga dapat alam niyo kung yung mga iba't ibang klase ng technology at kung paano siya gamitin. So, I believe naman yung mga generation niyo oriented naman na kayo sa technology. Unlike sa mga boomers or yung baby boomers na medyo sobrang nag-a-adjust sila sa paggamit ng technology or yung mga software. Yan. So, we have yung environmental forces or natural macro environment. So, ito yung tinatawag nating environment forces sa PESTEL ha. Yan. So, when we say environmental forces or yung natural, it includes all those that influence or are determined by the surrounding environment, such as climate, weather, geographical location, and global changes in climate. So, environmental forces can also include issues such as limited natural resources, waste disposal, and recycling processes. So yon, dito rin papasok ang mga fortuitous events. For example, ngayon, yung nagkaroon ng COVID, so papasok din yan sa environment forces or natural macro environment. Yan, kasi syempre may effect din yan sa business na hindi natin kayang kontrolin. So tayo na lang mag-a-adjust. So alam nyo naman na yun. Yan. So sa ating macro environment, sa SWOT natin, dito natin made-determine na din yung opportunities and threats. 'Di ba sa micro yung strength and weaknesses. And then sa macro, yung opportunities and threats. So external and uncontrollable factors that should either be capitalized or mitigated. Okay. So, I guess that's all for today. Yung lesson 3 and 4 natin next meeting na 'to. So, yung una nating lesson ng chapter 3 ay yung strategic planning or versus tactical planning. And then yung lesson 2 natin yung macro and micro environment. So, next naman itong marketing research. So, yung mga steps sa paggawa ng marketing plan. Ayun, so better na simulan niyo na din yung yung chapter 1 niyo, yung company background, mission, vision, yung title ng business, ganyan. Kasi sa November 28 na yung pasahan nun. Tama ba? November 28. November 28. Tapos next Monday, quiz niyo na ng principles of marketing. So, chapter 1 at chapter 2 lang naman siya. Okay, any question?